You might think intermittent fasting is simple. Just skip a few meals, right? But here's the shocking truth. One small mistake can completely destroy your results. People all over the world start fasting full of motivation, but within days or weeks, they feel tired, frustrated, and see no progress. The reason? They fall into traps that no one warns them about. And today, we are going to uncover them, one by one. Before we dive into those mistakes, let us quickly understand what intermittent fasting really is. It is not a diet. It is a pattern of eating. You control when you eat, not necessarily what you eat. The idea is to give your body long breaks between meals so it can reset, burn stored fat, and improve its internal balance. Fasting has been practiced for centuries in every culture for reasons beyond weight loss, from spiritual clarity to healing. But in modern times, it has become one of the most popular health trends in the world, thanks to studies showing benefits like improved metabolism, better focus, and even longer lifespan. Sounds powerful, right? It truly is. But here's where the suspense begins. Many people start fasting with high hopes, but end up feeling worse than before. They gain back the weight they lost. They experience fatigue, mood swings, or even hormonal imbalances. And it is not because fasting does not work. It is because they are doing it wrong. Most of these mistakes are not even talked about in popular videos or articles. These are subtle, lesser-known habits that silently sabotage your progress. So if you have tried intermittent fasting and felt stuck, or if you are just beginning and want to do it the right way, stay with me till the end. Because by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to avoid the 5 biggest fasting mistakes that can stop your body from burning fat and healing itself. You will learn the science behind what truly works and how small tweaks can lead to massive results. Now, before we go deeper, let me ask you something simple. Why do some people swear by fasting, saying it changed their lives, while others struggle to make it past the first week? The answer lies in understanding your body and the hidden rules of fasting that no one tells you about. For example, did you know that fasting the wrong way can actually increase your stress hormones? Research shows that when you fast too aggressively or without proper nutrition, your cortisol levels rise, making your body hold on to fat instead of burning it. That is the exact opposite of what you want. Or here is another surprising fact. Many people break their fasts with foods that spike their blood sugar levels, undoing hours of effort in just minutes. The meal you eat after fasting can make or break your results. Few people pay attention to that, and that is where progress stops. We are going to talk about all of this in detail, and I promise you, some of these points will surprise you. You will see why fasting is not just about skipping breakfast, but about working with your body's rhythm. You will understand how small choices like what time you eat, how you hydrate, and even how much you sleep can completely change your results. And if you stay till the end, I will also share one bonus tip that most experts never mention, a small but powerful adjustment that can double the effectiveness of your fasting routine without making you feel deprived. So why should you watch till the end? Because by the time this video ends, you will not only know what mistakes to avoid, but also how to make fasting work for your specific lifestyle. You will save yourself months of trial and error. You will be able to fast with confidence, energy, and real results. Let us be honest, the internet is full of fasting tips, but not all of them are accurate. Some are oversimplified and some are just myths. That is why we are cutting through the noise today. So no fluff, no complicated science talk, just the real truth in plain words. And here is the best part. Once you understand these 5 mistakes, you will realize how easy it actually is to make fasting sustainable. You will not need to count calories or give up your favorite foods. You will simply adjust your timing, your approach, and your mindset. The goal is not just weight loss. It is long-term health, balance, and control over your cravings. Now think about this. Fasting has been part of human history for thousands of years. From ancient Greek philosophers who believe fasting sharpened the mind, to modern doctors who use it to reset metabolism, the practice has always been about more than just skipping meals. But as it became popular online, the message got twisted. Many influencers show fasting as a quick fix, a magic formula for instant results. That is one of the biggest mistakes of all. Fasting is powerful, yes, but it requires understanding. When done right, it transforms your body and your relationship with food. When done wrong, it can slow your metabolism and harm your health. That is why this video is not just another guide. It is a wake-up call for anyone who wants to use fasting effectively. You will discover why the type of fasting schedule you choose matters more than you think. You will learn how hydration plays a silent but crucial role in your progress. You will see why being too strict can backfire and how a flexible approach works better for long-term success. Each point we are going to cover is backed by research and real-life experience. You will not just hear, "Do not make this mistake." You will understand the reason behind it. You will walk away knowing how to make fasting fit your life instead of fighting against it. So if you are serious about improving your health, gaining more energy, and breaking free from food guilt, keep watching. Every minute of this video will give you clarity and tools you can apply right away. Welcome to our channel where we turn complex health science into simple, practical advice. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because we release new videos every week to help you live smarter and healthier. Now get ready. We are about to reveal the top 5 mistakes people make when doing intermittent fasting, and more importantly, how you can avoid them to get the best results possible. Stay with us, because mistake number 5 might just be the one thing holding you back right now. Mistake number 1 is choosing the wrong fasting plan for your body and lifestyle. This is one of the biggest reasons people fail at intermittent fasting without even realizing it. There is not just one way to fast. In fact, there are several different methods: time-restricted eating, alternate day fasting, the 5-2 approach, and even extended fasts that last more than a day. Each of these has its own rhythm, its own demands, and its own impact on your body. Yet many people jump straight into the most extreme version they can find because it sounds like the fastest way to get results. That is where things go wrong. When you choose a fasting plan that does not match your lifestyle, your body starts fighting back. Maybe you pick a 16-hour fasting window because you saw it online, but you work early shifts or you exercise in the mornings. Soon you are starving halfway through your day, you lose focus, and you begin to resent the process. Fasting becomes something you dread instead of something that empowers you. The truth is, your fasting schedule should fit you, not the other way around. Everyone's metabolism, routine, and energy levels are different. What works for one person might not work for another. For example, someone who sits at a desk all day can handle a longer fasting window more easily than someone who works physically demanding jobs. A parent managing kids and household chores might need a shorter fasting window or flexible eating times to stay functional and patient. When you ignore your personal rhythm, fasting becomes a daily struggle instead of a sustainable lifestyle. Another hidden problem with choosing the wrong plan is how it affects your hormones. Jumping into long fasting periods without preparation can cause your body to perceive it as stress. Your cortisol levels rise, your sleep gets disrupted, and instead of burning fat, your body clings to it. Women especially may notice changes in mood, energy, or menstrual cycles when fasting schedules are too aggressive. That is your body's way of signaling that the method you are using is not right for you. Some people also forget that fasting is not just about food, it is about timing and consistency. If your schedule keeps changing every week, your body never adapts. The benefits of fasting come from rhythm and regularity. When you constantly shift between eating windows or skip meals randomly, your blood sugar levels fluctuate, your hunger hormones get confused, and you end up feeling drained instead of refreshed. A better way is to start small and observe. Try a simple 12-hour fast, like eating dinner at 7 p.m. and breakfast at 7 a.m. See how your body feels. Once that feels natural, extend it gradually to 14 or 16 hours. This slow approach allows your metabolism to adjust without shocking your system. It also helps you understand when you feel most energetic and when you actually need food. Choosing a fasting plan is like choosing shoes. If it does not fit, you cannot walk far. You need something that supports your routine, not something that disrupts it. If you are active, you might need shorter fasts or a later eating window to refuel properly. If you prefer quiet mornings, a morning fast might suit you better. There is no single best way. The best plan is the one you can maintain effortlessly, day after day. One more thing people often overlook is social life. Many fasting plans sound perfect on paper until you have dinner with friends or family. Suddenly your fasting window becomes stressful. You either skip the event or break your fast early, and guilt creeps in. That guilt cycle is one of the biggest reasons people quit fasting. Flexibility is key. You can always adjust your window around special occasions. Fasting is meant to serve your life, not control it. The key idea here is to treat fasting as a tool, not a rule. If you find yourself constantly hungry, anxious, or exhausted, that is not discipline. That is your body's way of saying the plan is not right for you. The real power of fasting comes when it blends naturally into your life, when you barely notice you are doing it because it feels balanced and manageable. Once you find that rhythm, fasting stops being a challenge and becomes a quiet habit that works in the background, helping you stay healthy and in control. Mistake number 2 is thinking you can eat anything you want during your eating window. This is where many people unknowingly cancel out all the benefits of fasting. Intermittent fasting changes when you eat, but it does not give you a free pass on what you eat. The body still reacts to the quality of the food you consume, even if you have gone hours without eating. Many people finish a fast and dive straight into heavy, greasy, or sugary meals, believing they have earned it. But what really happens inside the body tells a different story. When you fast, your body spends several hours lowering insulin levels and burning stored fat for energy. The moment you break that fast with processed food or excess sugar, your blood sugar spikes sharply. Insulin rises again, and your body immediately stops burning fat. Instead, it begins storing the new calories as fat, undoing much of the progress you made during the fasting period. The feeling of pride after fasting all day quickly turns into fatigue and bloating. A common mistake is thinking that fasting will automatically balance out poor eating habits. People say, "It's okay, I fasted all day," before grabbing fast food or dessert. But fasting is not a shield against unhealthy food. The body still measures nutrients, calories, and quality. It still needs vitamins, fiber, and protein to function properly. When you fast but eat junk, your metabolism slows down instead of speeding up. You might even end up gaining weight because your hunger hormones become unbalanced. Another issue is overeating during the eating window. After fasting, your body's hunger response is strong. You feel like you deserve a feast, so you start eating quickly and in large portions. This triggers a flood of calories in a short time, overwhelming your digestive system. Instead of feeling energized, you feel sluggish, bloated, and sleepy. Your body struggles to process the excess food, and much of it turns into stored fat. Fasting works best when paired with mindful eating, chewing slowly, recognizing fullness, and choosing meals that nourish instead of overload. Many people also forget that the first meal after a fast is the most important. It sets the tone for how your body will process food for the rest of the day. When you break your fast with refined carbs or sugary foods, your energy spikes quickly and crashes just as fast. You end up craving more sugar, creating a cycle that is hard to escape. But when you start with protein, healthy fats, and fiber like eggs, vegetables, or nuts, your blood sugar stays steady, your hunger stays controlled, and your body stays in fat-burning mode longer. Some people think that fasting alone is enough to detox the body. The truth is, your body naturally detoxes through the liver and kidneys, but it needs nutrients to do that effectively. When your diet lacks quality food, your body cannot repair itself properly, no matter how long you fast. Over time, this can lead to nutrient deficiencies, fatigue, and hormonal imbalance. It is also easy to underestimate how processed foods affect mental clarity. During fasting, many people notice better focus and sharper thinking because blood sugar stays stable. But once processed food floods the system, that clarity disappears. You might feel foggy, tired, or irritable. It is not because fasting failed. It is because the fuel you gave your body after fasting was poor quality. Choosing the right food during your eating window does not mean following a strict diet. It means focusing on balance. Include lean proteins, whole grains, vegetables, fruits, and healthy fats. These foods help stabilize your energy and support your metabolism. When you eat nutritious meals, you also stay full longer, which makes fasting easier the next day. Drinks also matter. Many people end their fasts with sugary coffee drinks or sodas, thinking it will boost their energy. In reality, it only spikes insulin again and delays fat burning. Water, herbal teas, or black coffee during fasting hours are much better choices. After breaking the fast, hydrating properly helps digestion and reduces cravings. The goal of intermittent fasting is not just to skip meals, but to teach your body how to use food more efficiently. Every time you eat, you send a message to your body either to store fat or to burn it. When you choose whole, nutrient-dense foods, you strengthen your metabolism and make fasting more effective. When you rely on processed or sugary foods, your body struggles to find balance. The most successful people who practice intermittent fasting understand this one principle. Fasting and nutrition are partners. One without the other does not work. You can fast perfectly, but if your eating window turns into a junk food session, your body will not change the way you hope it will. The real secret is not how long you fast, but what you choose to eat when you finally do. Mistake number 3 is neglecting hydration and nutrients. This one might sound simple, but it is often the quiet reason behind why many people feel tired, dizzy, or unmotivated during fasting. When you stop eating for long hours, your body loses not only calories, but also water and electrolytes. Most people do not realize how much hydration they normally get from food. Fruits, vegetables, soups, even coffee all contribute to daily fluid intake. So when you fast and stop eating, your total water intake drops sharply. Without enough water, your body cannot perform basic functions smoothly. During fasting, your insulin levels decrease, which makes your kidneys excrete more sodium and water. That is why many people lose a lot of water weight in the beginning. But this also means you are losing minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium that help balance energy, heart rhythm, and nerve function. When those levels drop, you start to feel weak, lightheaded, or unusually hungry. Some people even mistake thirst for hunger and end up breaking their fast early, thinking they need food when all they really needed was water. Hydration plays a far greater role in fasting than most people expect. It supports metabolism, helps regulate temperature, and aids in detoxification. When you drink enough water, your body burns fat more efficiently because the chemical process that releases fat from storage depends on water molecules. Without hydration, that process slows down. Dehydration can also cause headaches, brain fog, and mood swings, making it harder to stay consistent with fasting. Another overlooked part of hydration is electrolytes. When you lose minerals through sweat, exercise, or simply the fasting process, your body's balance shifts. Drinking plain water helps, but sometimes it is not enough. A pinch of sea salt in your water or a zero-calorie electrolyte drink can help maintain balance and prevent that sudden crash in energy levels. When you stay properly hydrated, your body adjusts to fasting much more smoothly, and you feel lighter and more alert instead of sluggish. But hydration alone is not the full picture. What happens when you finally break your fast is just as important. Many people focus only on calories or portion size, but they forget that nutrients are what fuel recovery. After hours of fasting, your body is ready to absorb whatever you give it. That first meal determines how you feel for the rest of the day. If you break your fast with sugary food or refined carbs, your blood sugar spikes quickly and drops soon after, leaving you hungrier than before. The key nutrients you need after fasting are protein and fiber. Protein helps repair muscles, balance blood sugar, and keep you full longer. Fiber slows digestion, supports gut health, and stabilizes energy levels. When you combine both, you prevent the crash that makes fasting feel unbearable. For example, breaking a fast with eggs, vegetables, or a handful of nuts gives your body what it needs to rebuild and stay steady. Neglecting nutrients during fasting can also lead to longer-term issues. Without enough vitamins and minerals, your metabolism slows down, your hair and skin lose their glow, and your immune system weakens. Some people think fasting alone is a shortcut to health, but in reality, it only works well when supported by nutrient-rich meals. You are giving your body time to rest from digestion, not starving it from essential fuel. It is also important to remember that fasting does not mean avoiding all nutrients until your eating window. Some drinks can help maintain balance without breaking your fast, such as water with electrolytes, herbal teas, or black coffee. These keep you hydrated and help control hunger. On the other hand, skipping fluids completely during your fast makes the process much harder. The human body can survive days without food, but dehydration can become dangerous in just a short time. The first few days of fasting are usually the hardest because your body is adjusting. That is when hydration matters most. Drinking consistently through the day, not just chugging water once you feel thirsty, helps your system adapt. You can also track your hydration by checking your energy and mood. If you start feeling irritable, fatigued, or get headaches, you might be low on fluids or electrolytes, not energy. When fasting becomes part of your lifestyle, hydration and nutrients become your foundation. They are what make fasting sustainable rather than stressful. Fasting works with the body, not against it, and that balance starts with something as simple as water, minerals, and a mindful meal once your fasting window closes. Mistake number 4 is being too rigid or going too extreme too soon. This happens to a lot of people who are excited to start intermittent fasting and want fast results. They watch a few success stories, see someone talk about fasting for 20 hours a day, and think they can do the same right away. But the body is not a switch that can instantly adjust to long fasting windows or very low calorie intake. It needs time to adapt. When you push it too hard from the beginning, the reaction is not progress, it is resistance. In the first few days of fasting, your body is still learning how to use stored fat for energy. If you suddenly go from eating 3 meals and snacks a day to fasting for long hours, your energy levels crash. Hunger hormones spike and you start craving everything in sight. Instead of burning fat efficiently, your body goes into stress mode, raising cortisol levels. This can lead to mood swings, irritability, headaches, and even trouble sleeping. Many people confuse these signs with lack of discipline, but it is actually the body's way of saying the transition is too fast. Another problem with being too rigid is that it makes fasting feel like punishment rather than a lifestyle choice. When you force yourself into a strict schedule that does not match your daily routine, it becomes mentally exhausting. You might skip social events, avoid meals with family, or feel guilty every time you eat outside your window. That kind of mindset can create an unhealthy relationship with food. Fasting is meant to bring balance, not obsession. People also tend to combine extreme fasting with intense workouts or very low-calorie diets. This double pressure on the body can backfire. Instead of burning fat, your metabolism slows down to conserve energy. You might notice that your weight stalls, your workouts feel harder, and your recovery time increases. Over time, this can lead to fatigue, hormonal imbalances, and even nutrient deficiencies. The irony is that by trying too hard to speed up results, you end up slowing them down. The body thrives on gradual change. When you start fasting, it is better to let your system adjust step by step. A 12-hour fast is a good place to begin, something as simple as finishing dinner early and eating breakfast later the next morning. Once your body feels comfortable, extend it to 14 hours, then 16. This slow progression allows your metabolism to adapt naturally. You will notice that hunger becomes more manageable, energy stays stable, and your mind becomes clearer. Being flexible is also essential. Fasting should work around your life, not the other way around. If you have an early meeting or a workout in the morning, it is okay to shorten your fast that day. Consistency matters more than perfection. A rigid plan often leads to burnout because it ignores real-life situations. Some days you will need more food, especially after physical or mental stress. Listening to your body and adjusting your window keeps fasting sustainable in the long run. Another hidden danger of going too extreme is the emotional toll. When results do not come as quickly as expected, frustration builds up. You start doubting yourself or feeling like you failed. This cycle of guilt can push people to quit fasting altogether. But the truth is, success with fasting is not about how long you go without eating. It is about balance, patience, and understanding your body's limits. The best approach is to treat fasting as a skill that improves over time. In the beginning, your goal should be comfort and consistency, not endurance. Once your body adapts, you can experiment with longer windows if needed. You will know you are doing it right when fasting feels natural, not forced. Your energy will stay steady, your mood will improve, and you will not feel controlled by hunger. When fasting becomes extreme, it loses its purpose. The body begins to view it as a threat instead of a healthy rhythm. Gradual adaptation allows your hormones, metabolism, and mindset to align. This way, fasting becomes effortless and sustainable, something you can do for life rather than something you struggle to maintain for a few weeks. Mistake number 5 is ignoring lifestyle factors and not adapting your fasting routine to your overall life. Many people treat intermittent fasting like a magic formula, thinking that as long as they follow the fasting hours, everything else will fall into place. But fasting does not work in isolation. It is only one part of a bigger picture that includes sleep, stress, physical activity, and food quality. When these other parts are out of balance, fasting loses much of its power and can even start to cause problems instead of benefits. Sleep is one of the most overlooked factors. When you do not sleep enough, your body produces more cortisol, the stress hormone that makes you crave sugary and high-fat foods. It also disrupts the balance of hunger hormones like ghrelin and leptin, making you feel hungrier than usual. You might wake up already tired, and fasting on top of that feels unbearable. Even if you stick to your eating window perfectly, lack of sleep slows down fat burning and prevents your body from fully recovering. Proper sleep helps your metabolism stay steady and allows fasting to work the way it is meant to. Stress plays an equally powerful role. When your mind is constantly under pressure, your body enters a state of alert, which increases cortisol again. High stress can make fasting much harder because your body interprets both stress and fasting as a lack of safety. This combination often leads to mood swings, irritability, and overeating once the fasting window ends. Some people even use food as a way to calm stress, which completely reverses the benefits of fasting. That is why managing stress through breathing, meditation, or simple relaxation is not optional. It is essential if you want fasting to work long term. Another lifestyle element people often ignore is movement. Many assume fasting means resting all day to conserve energy, but light and consistent movement actually enhances fasting results. Simple activities like walking, stretching, or yoga help improve circulation, stabilize blood sugar, and encourage fat burning. Exercise also lifts your mood and supports healthy sleep. On the other hand, doing extreme workouts while fasting can backfire, especially for beginners, because your body may not have enough fuel to recover. The key is moderation. Move enough to stay active, but not so much that you exhaust yourself. Food quality also connects deeply with lifestyle. Some people stick to their fasting schedule but fill their eating window with low-quality processed food. Even if the timing is perfect, poor food choices slow metabolism and increase inflammation. The body cannot function well without proper nutrients, and fasting cannot compensate for an unbalanced diet. A diet rich in whole foods, lean proteins, healthy fats, and plenty of vegetables helps you feel full and nourished while supporting the natural benefits of fasting. Ignoring lifestyle factors also leads to a lack of adaptability. Fasting is not meant to be rigid. It should change based on your needs. There will be days when you are more active, more tired, or under extra stress. On those days, your fasting window might need to be shorter, or you might need an earlier meal to maintain energy. People who refuse to adapt often end up feeling frustrated or burned out. Flexibility keeps fasting sustainable and aligned with real life. The connection between lifestyle and fasting goes even deeper at the hormonal level. For example, poor sleep and chronic stress increase cortisol, which interferes with insulin sensitivity. That means your body stores fat more easily and has trouble using it for energy. You could be fasting for 16 hours every day and still not see progress because your hormones are not in sync. When you sleep well, stay calm, move regularly, and eat nourishing foods, your hormones stabilize naturally, and fasting becomes far more effective. Many people overlook hydration as part of this bigger lifestyle picture too. When life gets busy, drinking enough water becomes an afterthought, yet hydration supports every process in fasting, from digestion to energy to mental focus. Fasting without proper hydration is like running an engine without oil. It might move for a while, but it will eventually break down. The truth is, intermittent fasting should be a partnership between your habits and your biology. When you sleep deeply, manage stress, move regularly, and eat real food, fasting fits in effortlessly. It becomes part of a rhythm that keeps your body balanced and strong. But when you ignore those areas, fasting turns into another source of strain, making you feel worse instead of better. The success of fasting does not come from the clock alone. It comes from the way you live around it. There's one more important point that many people overlook when talking about intermittent fasting. It is not for everyone. While fasting has impressive benefits for many, there are situations where it can do more harm than good. The truth is, every body works differently, and certain people need more consistent nourishment rather than long breaks from food. Understanding when fasting might not be right for you is just as important as knowing how to do it properly. For example, fasting is not recommended for pregnant or breastfeeding women. During pregnancy and breastfeeding, the body needs a steady supply of nutrients and energy to support both the mother and the baby. Cutting out meals or going long hours without food can affect milk production, hormone balance, and overall energy levels. Even mild fasting can lead to fatigue or dizziness during this time because the body's nutritional needs are higher than usual. People who take medications that must be consumed with food should also be cautious. Some drugs can cause stomach irritation, nausea, or dizziness when taken on an empty stomach. Others rely on food to be absorbed properly. If someone decides to fast while on these medications, it could interfere with how well the medicine works or even cause side effects. It is always safer to speak with a doctor before combining fasting with prescription medication, especially if it affects blood sugar, blood pressure, or digestion. Older adults also need to be careful with fasting. As we age, our metabolism changes and muscle mass tends to decrease. Long fasting windows can make it harder to get enough protein and nutrients in a limited eating period. This can lead to weakness, loss of strength, or slower recovery from illness or injury. Older adults may also have underlying health conditions that make fasting less suitable, such as diabetes, low blood pressure, or heart issues. For them, a modified approach, such as shorter fasting windows or balanced meal timing, is often safer and more effective. People with a history of eating disorders should avoid fasting altogether, unless under professional supervision. Intermittent fasting can trigger unhealthy thought patterns around food and control. For someone who has struggled with binging or restricting in the past, the structure of fasting can reignite those habits. What starts as a health experiment can quickly turn into an emotional or psychological struggle. In such cases, focusing on balanced nutrition and mindful eating is far more beneficial than timed fasting. It is also important to note that fasting can affect blood sugar regulation. Individuals with diabetes, hypoglycemia, or insulin resistance should never start fasting without medical guidance. Sudden drops in blood sugar can lead to dizziness, confusion, and even fainting. A healthcare professional can help adjust the timing of meals or medications to keep blood sugar stable while exploring gentle fasting methods if appropriate. For people dealing with high stress or sleep deprivation, fasting can sometimes make things worse instead of better. When the body is already under stress, fasting adds another layer of pressure. Cortisol levels rise further, making you feel anxious, fatigued, or restless. In such situations, it is often better to focus on restoring sleep, nutrition, and relaxation before adding fasting into your lifestyle. Once your energy and stress levels are balanced, fasting can be introduced more safely. Women may also need to be more mindful of how fasting affects hormones. Long fasting periods can disrupt reproductive hormones, leading to irregular cycles or fatigue. Women with thyroid issues, adrenal fatigue, or hormonal imbalances should always take a gentler approach. Shorter fasts, regular hydration, and nutrient-dense meals during eating windows. Listening to the body's signals is key, because hormonal systems are sensitive to changes in meal timing. There are also times when fasting might simply not align with someone's current lifestyle. Athletes in heavy training periods, individuals recovering from illness or surgery, or people with demanding physical jobs often need steady energy throughout the day. In these cases, restricting food intake for long hours could interfere with performance and recovery. A more flexible eating schedule may provide better results and support overall health more effectively. The essential message is that fasting is not one size fits all. Just because it works well for one person does not mean it is safe or beneficial for another. Before starting, it is wise to consult a healthcare professional who understands your health history, medications, and daily routine. They can help tailor the approach or suggest alternatives that match your body's needs. Fasting should enhance your life, not complicate it, and professional guidance ensures that it does exactly that. So to bring it all together, let us quickly recap what we have learned. The 5 biggest mistakes people make with intermittent fasting are choosing the wrong plan for their body, thinking they can eat anything during their eating window, neglecting hydration and nutrients, being too rigid or going extreme too soon, and ignoring lifestyle factors that support the process. Each of these can quietly sabotage your results, leaving you tired, frustrated, or stuck, even when you are trying your best. But here is the good news. Every one of these mistakes is easy to fix once you know what to look for. When you choose a plan that fits your lifestyle, eat real, nourishing food, stay hydrated, take a gradual approach, and care for your sleep and stress, fasting becomes simple and natural. Your body starts to work with you instead of against you. You feel lighter, more focused, and more in control of your health. It is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent and understanding what your body truly needs. If you apply what you learned today, your fasting journey will not just be smoother, it will be safer and far more effective. You will see steady progress, not temporary results. And most importantly, you will enjoy the process instead of fighting through it. If this video helped you or gave you a new perspective on fasting, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who want to live healthier lives. And if you are new here, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming videos. We would also love to hear from you. Share your fasting experience or questions in the comments below. Have you made any of these mistakes before? What helped you overcome them? Your story might inspire someone else watching this right now. Thank you for spending your time with us today. Stay healthy, stay consistent, and remember, fasting is not about restriction, it is about renewal. See you in the next video.